This is the first time in the history of graveyard cars we have a 1969 Barracuda.
It is a 383 4-speed. That means it's an A57 Cuda. Now, the first time the word Cuda was ever used officially by Plymouth was on this model. Even though people with 65 to 69s all the time call them Cudas because it's a cute contraction of the word, it wasn't an official model until 1969, and that was in the mid-year 1969. In the world of A-bodies, this little car is very collectible. They made a coupe version. This is the fastback style, so it looks like it's going 100 miles an hour sitting still.
So we got this really cool Cuda. We don't get very many of these A-bodies in here. In this particular circumstance, this car did need a lot of work.
It had a lot of rust on it and a lot of damage, so we ended up replacing quarter panels. The front inner fenders had been cut out for fender well exit headers. The old street routers will know what that is. Well, we replaced those.
The owner actually supplied us with a used front clip that we were able to put on. In addition, we replaced the main floor, the rear footwells,
the under seat pan, the spare tire well,
trunk floor extensions, rear body panel, and both quarter panels.
But the rest of the sheet metal on the car is original to it.
So after the metal work's all done, they can start their body work. Once they've got the body work done, it'll come over to me, prime it, goes back to them. We'll do that a couple of times, so it actually gets primed 3 times. So when that car comes over to us, we long block the whole thing, check the edges, check the gaps, wash it, put it in the booth. Then at that point, we're ready to do our pre-paint. Look for any imperfections, kind of the same process that we've done before, just making sure the car's perfect, which it will be. Wrapped up our 1969 Cuda yesterday. Car came out amazing. It's the last car that we're gonna do a pre-paint on. We're actually building a team here. We have good helpers, other painters, and we can spend more time on the process. So when it comes time to paint it, it's a one and done deal. We are doing the final paint on our 1969 Barracuda going B5 blue. Now, we've had a run of blue cars, so it's not that exciting, but what is exciting is we haven't done one of these cars before.
Our 1969 Cuda, this is a beautiful little car, or it will be when we're finished with it. You pack that little 383 Super Commando in there and back it up with a 4-speed, 8 3/4 rear end with the 323 Sure Grip, and you've got a go-fast little A-body.
Once I got the pre-paint wrapped up, initially let it sit for about a week, run a couple bake cycles on it. At that point, we tear the car apart, I'll panel paint it, jam it, get all that stuff done. So at that point, we can bolt the whole car back together, block it down one last time, and it's ready for final paint. And when you do that final paint, the car's blue and there's no issues. So we're doing the final paint, get that all wrapped up, do the blackouts that go on the rockers on this car, get it over to assembly, get the car underneath its own suspension, bring it back to me, then it gets these great stripes that go across the hood onto the header panel, drop those on last minute, put this car together and get it out of here. We've done pre-paints for years.
We have historically pre-painted everything. That means painted it completely, put it together, and then walked around it, looked for any imperfections, sanded them out, made sure the style lines intersect, make sure the door gaps and everything are perfect on it, and then long block it out with 600, 400, 600 grit, and then walk around it one more time for paint.
Mark's always been a big fan of doing the pre-paints. It's just because it allows you to cut some corners. Maybe when you have a car that's all blocked out and you see a little wave or something looks off a little bit, we're pre-painting the car. So you get that done and you can look at it and say, oh God, you don't see that at all. So it allows you some flexibility in the process.
There's nothing wrong with that, but it gets expensive when you're doing it on as many cars as we have here. That's a lot of material.
9 times out of 10, the car looks great, which does speed the process up for final paint because you're not painting over gray. You're going blue over blue, so you don't have to do as many coats.
So I decided that what we're gonna do is take more time prepping the car and really being careful. We got the right team. We haven't had that in the past.
So moving forward, I think big picture wise, it's really gonna speed things up. We have more helpers now. I have more help over here.
We have the right body men, the right painters, the right primer guys, the right metal guys, the right mud guys.
So you're able to really just slow down a little bit, make sure a car is perfect when it's all in primer.
Now we can make this look like it's had its pre-paint on it before we ever spray the first ounce of color.
Roll it into the booth one time, get it painted, get it cut and buffed, and get it out of here.
And because of that, I think it's going to increase our productivity as well as the quality of the finished product.
I think everyone's gonna win in the long run. So with the car being in the booth, I like to let that sit for like an hour or two, fully gas out, let all the vapors, just everything just breathe a little bit. Then at that point, I'll go back in the booth, double check the car, then it's time to clear it.
The gentleman that owns the car has been very patient with us. He's grown with us, as most of our folks have. You know, when we moved in, I was taking everything on I could at once because I wanted to make sure we had a full shop, and I had anticipated that we'd do 24 cars a year. Well, that was a little lofty. In this particular case, the guy has been wonderful. He's worked with us, and it's going to be a real pleasure for me to hand him back the set of keys that he handed me. He specifically put those in my hand, so when the car's done, I'm going to hand them back in his hand, and he's going to head down the highway.
This was a nice car to clear because it's a small car. Most of these Mopars, man, they're like every bit over 20 feet long. Then you put the hoods in there and deck lids are huge. This is just a little itty bitty A-body. By the time I get one coat around the car, double check, everything looks great. I can go mix up another coat, and this whole process on this car really went easy. Car looks great. It's always exciting to do a different car. I'm not a fan of this particular car, but I'm noticing as the car's coming further along, it's kind of growing on me, and I'm super excited just to see the way it comes out. B5 blue, gorgeous color. We've done 3 or 4 cars in a row this color, so But the car itself, it's the first time we've done a 69. It's an A-body. It came out gorgeous. Took a couple days to get it because it's one of those colors. If there's the slightest imperfection, you can see it. So you just gotta take your time, go through the process, double check everything. Got most of the color wrapped up on a Friday. Came in Saturday morning with the camera guy. Oh, he's not camera guy anymore, producer. And then him and I, oh, sorry.
Cut?
Once I have either myself or my helper do the cut and buff on the car, take it outside, give it a good bath with steam, get the whole car thoroughly washed, underside everything, brought back in the booth, run another bake cycle on it so it dries that water quicker. Then we mask it up for the undercoating. Some cars get it, some don't get it. Most of them do. This car's a very clean car. The floor pans, every part and piece that was put on it looks great. We're not trying to cover anything up. You can look underneath that car and say, wow, look at that spot weld, look at that weld. Everything looks really good on it. So with the car being masked up, I go ahead and start the undercoat process, do a good once over on it, do the undercoating, make sure the proper thickness is there. Then after the undercoating is complete, unmask it. I like to let it sit in the booth overnight, and then I take it over to the assembly side, and at that point, we're officially done with the car.
Hello ghouls, Mark Warman here, the Ice Tray from Graveyard Cars. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. We have fantastic stuff coming up, and some of it you've never seen before. I gotta go insult people. Hey Alice!